here, I want you to smile pleasantly for 2 or 3 seconds, and I want you to start. Okay? So you're the audience, she's the speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kim Miner.
You like someone. You really care about them. Then you observe them doing something risky. Texting when driving, not getting enough sleep, or doing something else that scares you. Because you care, you want to say something helpful. But what do you say? And how do you say it? We face the same dilemma when we see someone carrying extra weight, because we know the negative effect weight has on their health and their lives. We want to say something helpful, but same dilemma. What to say and how to say it. The goal of my presentation is to give you an example of what you might say and how to say it when you want to be helpful. Do you think that would help you out? Before I give my example, think about the promise our industry can make and does make to clients, patients, and friends who are striving for optimal weight and health. The promise is this: you can minimize cravings and maximize fat loss, fat burning. My example is also based on an important communication principle. What you say to people, they hear. But what the questions you cause people to think about causes them to think. And through thinking, that people can discover new behaviors and happier lives. So here's the question. Would you be interested in 2 big ideas for easily managing your blood sugar, achieving your optimal weight, and feeling great while doing it? This simple question conveys a sincere desire to help. And after they answer, you can offer this encouragement. It is possible. You can minimize your cravings and maximize your fat burning, period. Here are the big ideas. Number 1, buy and read the book titled Your New BFF. Your New Best Friend Forever is Burning Fat for Fuel. This book is stuffed with practical ideas for healthy eating and much more. Read, study, and implement what you find in the book. The second idea is to use a magical new elixir, Keto OS, as a supplement that gives you immediate ketones to burn while your body is producing its own ketones and adapting to its new fat-burning state. You can tell your clients, patients, and friends these 2 ideas came from me, Kim Miner, and they can get the book and Keto OS from me if they're interested. Today, I am happy, healthy, and on track for a healthy future. In case you are wondering, this hasn't always been the case. I met a book publisher who encouraged me to share key points of my journey in navigating this mad world of diabetes by writing this book. The goal of the book and the promoting of Keto OS is to help others learn what I learned in just a fraction of the time with a portion of the pain. Here is my story. A long time ago in a land far, far away, you may have driven through it on your way to somewhere exciting. It's called Eastern Montana. A 9.5-pound baby girl was born. Now at that time, I did not expect to grow up to be an overweight hairdresser. But at about the age of 13, I started putting thoughts of fatness in my head. My mom thought she was fat. The kids at school told me I was fat. So naturally, I thought I was fat. For crying out loud. At graduation from high school, I weighed in at 125 pounds. Now there's a fatty for you. But heading off to beauty school, I manifested the fat that was in my head and put it right on my thighs with cinnamon rolls and hot fudge cake. You may have heard the wise King Solomon who said, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." And that happened to me. At 22 years old and working in an 8-station hair salon, I was working with another girl named Kim. We didn't have a receptionist, so we took turns answering the phones. Now, Kim was thin. She loved to run. I never have understood that about some people. We didn't have a receptionist, so we took turns answering the phone. One day, I left my client to take my turn at the phone, and I heard the client on the other end ask for an appointment with Kim. I innocently said, which Kim would you like an appointment with? I certainly didn't expect the person, I expected the person to say a last name, or maybe the cute one with the red hair. I didn't expect her to say the heavy set one. That was it. My bottom, my why. I immediately went on a series of diets, exercise programs, cleanses. Who here has tried the lemon juice, maple syrup, cayenne pepper cleanse? Hey, it's all natural. But anything to get those unwanted pounds off my body. I can't share a lifetime of stories in the time we have, but I'll fast forward right past delivering 2 beautiful babies, one a whopping 9 pounds, 4 ounces, to another thing I didn't expect. I did not expect at the age of 44 to be rushed to the hospital with a raging fever, 103, 104, 105. I thought I had a really bad case of the flu. In AR, they were certain the lab had made a mistake. They redid my blood work. I mean, how can a 44-year-old, 127-pound woman have a blood sugar reading of 367? Yep, I had type 1 diabetes. What a shock. The question everyone asks me in my family, does diabetes run in my family? It does, but I didn't ever get to personally know the first victim. She was my grandma's sister. I heard stories about how she would sneak off and eat candy, similar to what I did in the back room at the salon when nobody was looking. She died at age 13 in 1936 of type 1 diabetes. My grandma waited till sometime later in adulthood to develop type 2 diabetes. Apparently in her 40s, she knew she was pre-diabetic, but told no one except my Aunt Ellen. As a diabetic coach, I sure wish I knew then what I know now. I could have been a big help to my grandma, who eventually died of diabetic complications. In my case, I did pretty well at eating low fat, not eating at all. Either way, being hungry all the time. I did pretty well as a newly diagnosed type 1 diabetic. I counted my carbs like a champ. I tried to time my insulin shots perfectly. I told my boyfriend, Tim, who developed type 1 at the age of 37 himself, "You have to marry me now. You gave me your disease." On June 25th, 2013, my husband Tim and I met a doctor who would change our lives forever. She is a type 2 diabetic and told us about the magic of the low-carb lifestyle and how adding fat to our diets would keep us full and eliminate cravings. Dr. Hills told us we didn't have to die early of diabetic complications and showed us a chart of a 16-year-old diabetic girl using a continuous glucose monitor. Now, she had an A1C of 7. Pretty good, right? I had no idea that highs could be so high and lows could be so low with a decent average. Dr. Hills told us how low carb could even out those ups and downs and keep us on an even keel, which would make us feel so much better. Then she wrapped up our appointment time by giving herself a hug and saying, "I love myself too much to hurt myself." This catapulted me on a journey of not only caring for myself better, but also helping other diabetics and pre-diabetics and friends who wanted to lose weight and get free of those nasty, intrusive thoughts of food. Nick, the book publisher, inspired me to look beyond helping people in ones and twos by writing a book that could help thousands. We promote my book everywhere so I can reach as many people as possible with the message of freedom from food addiction. The title of the book, Your New BFF, is Burning Fat for Fuel. The result of your newfound friend is that you will lose weight and beat diabetes. I was so excited about how my book would change people's lives, and then I made another life-changing discovery. My friend Nancy saw some information about Keto OS on Facebook. She asked me, because she knew about my ketogenic lifestyle and my impending book launch, and so I Googled it, and I saw Jimmy Moore talking about keto. That increased my intrigue about the product. I ordered 3 samples, and bam, I became an instant Keto OS fan. I experienced better blood sugar, amazing appetite control, remarkable willpower, and a full and satisfied feeling. I joined Jimmy's team to promote Keto OS, and along with the ideas in my book, I added Keto OS as a new tool in my arsenal to manage my blood sugar and energize my new career path as a diabetic coach and low-carb advocate. I've never felt so peaceful and yet so energized in my life as I do as a diabetic coach and advocate for low-carb, high-fat lifestyle. I love it when people read the book and call me with even more questions. They ask me to become their coach, and over a number of months, I'm able to guide them into a healthier lifestyle. For example, a man called me a few weeks ago. He had a fast-growing tumor on the side of his head. They had removed it, but they could not do a PET scan to see if the cancer had spread into his body because of his diabetes. They told him he had to keep his blood sugar under 200 for an entire week before they would do the scan. This man had not done that for years. After a brief consultation, I drugged that guy to the grocery store. We made a mad LCHF run around the store. I sent him home with everything he needed and a plan for the week. We did daily calls, and it led to a successful week, and thank God. They did the scan, and his cancer was not found anywhere in his body. I wish you could have heard the relief in his voice. Many of my clients become Keto OS customers, and some become promoters themselves. I invite all of you to try Keto OS. I hope you will buy my book, buy extra copies for special people in your lives, and refer it to others in need. For those who haven't tried keto yet, I invite you to become a customer. You can pick up 5 packets, which for me is 10 servings, at the table in the back for $25, and you can start today. Or if the temptation of carbs on this cruise is too great, throw them in your suitcase and use them to enhance your LCHF lifestyle when you get home. As your satisfaction with keto grows, you might even want to become a promoter. If you can do people an incredible favor and generate some mad money in return, what's better than that? Circling back to the beginning of our presentation today, I reminded us all that we see clients, patients, and friends, and because we care about the negative effect of extra pounds and high blood sugar, we want to say something helpful. I gave you an example of how it might work to ask someone this question. Would you be interested in 2 big ideas for easily managing your blood sugar, achieving your optimal weight, and feeling good while doing it? The 2 big ideas are found in the content of the book and by using Keto OS. With LCHF, intrusive thoughts of food can be managed. It is possible to minimize cravings and maximize fat burning. It is my hope that as thought leaders and health advisors, you will include the little book and Keto OS as part of your loving attempt to help those you care about live healthier, happier lives. During the breaks on our seminar days, you will find my handsome husband, my delightful daughter, and our wonderful friend Kylie Molinex at the table in the back to talk with you more about the book and give you a taste of the orange dreaminess of Keto OS.